Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our NPSS Hot News and Discussion. I'm Sreypich, the new anchor of today. For our main topic today is about a tragic event of a teen girl committing suicide a day before her wedding. A 14-year-old girl, Juliet, was found dead by her nurse in the fall of Thursday morning, and the National Investigation Team reported that the girl is believed to poison herself in around 12 to 2 p.m. in Thursday morning. And the origin of the poison and her motive behind her sudden action still remain mysterious. The story of Juliet's death went viral in only 10 hours, and many people have been theorizing different factors behind her taking action. Most people said that it was because she was forced to marry, and some say that she was killed, and some even accused of her fiancé to force her to marry, and she had no choice and to end her life. And however, all these concerns still remain mysterious, and no one knows exactly why she decided to take her life. In this section, we were given chance to invite two people who witnessed in the incident: the groom-to-be of the young Juliet and Father Laurence, who is the wise man of the religion. Good evening, Mr. Paris.
Good evening, Ms. Sreyphos.
Yes, first I want to say sorry to hear about you and your family tragic loss. And someone who is close to her, have you been noticing anything weird or anything wrong that shows she was reluctant to marry you?
For me, I only knew Juliet for just a few months, but she is a beautiful, innocent, and shy girl for me. And she is someone who really has a good heart, that she always shares her love to each other. But if you want to ask me for the reason, maybe she has someone in her heart, or maybe she has some issue in her family, and she can't help each other. No one knows that. So what we should do now is just respect her soul. Don't ask for the reason. Just pray her to rest in peace.
Yes, and many people have been saying that the death of her was caused by your forceful decision to marry. What do you think of the end? Do you have anything to talk about this?
As someone who loves her dearly, I respect whatever decision that she made, but killing herself is something that she should never done in her life. People have their own judgment. You can judge whatever you want, but you should think that it is logical or not, and you should judge anything with evidence. And many proposal of marriage is pushing someone to kill themselves. I think that it is not right. Yes, for me, since our first meeting and one case from Juliet, I can see a beautiful face with her, but she did something that made me depressed, sorrowful, and horrible. To all women out there, you should expect yourself than kill yourself, because you won't know who will hurt by your own aggressive woman.
Yes.
And to all, I hope that no more people can suffer like I am right now.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Paris, for your consideration to join our discussion today. Good evening, Father Laurence.
Good evening, Ms. Sreyphos.
What do you think of this incident? Do you think it is Juliet's fault to end her life?
As a priest who asked to help by many people, I have seen a lot of pain and sorrow in people's heart. Physical pain can be cured by medicine, but the disease that are from desire, greed, and oppression that people are trapped in cannot be cured by medicine. When greed and desire grow bigger and bigger and you will not satisfy it, you will trapped in a place where you cannot escape. I don't blame Juliet for ending her life. It might be that she can't fight the oppression anymore. But no matter how cruel the oppression is, there always be a way to solve it. And I don't blame her parents or anyone. Because choosing to live or to end your life is ourselves to decide. And the decisions are influenced by many factors. Parents are the first person to be close with their kid. I think if only they had the close observation to their kid, they could have known what she wanted, and I think the tragic incident will never happen.
And in the religious book, the Bible book, does it mention that it is sin to end your life?
Yes, of course. Committing suicide is a sin. Even though you kill yourself, it's still like you kill one innocent life. So committing suicide is a sin and it can be hated by God. And I don't think it's a good idea to end your life just to solve the problem. And I'm pretty sure we can solve everything bit by bit because it's not as hard to solve as it seems to be. First of all, you just brainstorm the solution for possible reason to solve your problem by asking people whom you are close to seek for solution and their experience and try to define the problem.
And as a religious advisor, do you have anything to tell our parents out there, and especially the parents of young girls?
Obviously, I'm just an outsider who should not step in their family business. But I can hold myself when I see them make such a big mistake. We should not have planned from the start. And this mistake is to all parents, not only Juliet's parents. You can learn from these laws, and you have to realize that you can influence them by giving them food and shelter or anything, but you can control them like a toy. And I want to suggest to them to understand that every person has their own judgment and not all disagreements are bad or wrong. So please be supportive to your child and let them do whatever they want. And please understand and respect their boundary like they do to us.
Yes, thank Father Laurence for giving us time to get to know about your perspective. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of our second session. We will be back in the next session, and I will be talking about the new topic, which is about the oppressing tradition and teen suicide. Now, welcome to our last section of today. Some critics has been criticizing of the idea of young girls should submit to their parents and being stigmatized when they rebel against the parent. Many young adults, along with social activists, has been saying that the Juliet's death is a tragic consequence of our oppressing tradition. And they said that girls should given chance equal to boys in terms of making decisions on making family, and they should given chance to get educated. For this matter, we invited two guests who work with social problems to share their perspective of the incident. Please welcome our professional analyst, Mr. Channarouth from IFL Community of Social Observation and Resolution, and our ambassador of Ministry of Women Affairs, Mrs. Doung. Good evening, Ms. Doung and Mr. Channarouth.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening, Ms. Sreyphos. As we can see, the problem happening today, many young adults has been protesting against our oppressing tradition. To Mr. Channarouth, what are the possible reasons come to your mind concerning the death of Juliet? Do you think it has anything to do with our tradition?
So it obvious that they were married. Juliet has committed suicide. He somehow really shocked everybody. So I feel like there might be a reason behind the fact. Frankly, I feel that being forced to marry someone is one of the reasons that motivated Juliet to eventually commit suicide. And I think it is a very common practice that a lot of parents in the Laurence era, they perceive that kind of unconditional wisdom. And but for some reason, I just want parents to remember that some of them got attempt for the children might lead to bad consequences, and they can also take something that happened to Juliet as an example as well. So to Juliet, because of their parents wanted to have the futures, but in the end, she committed suicide. And it is also possible that the girl have already involved love affairs, so it might be someone that she's passionately about. And if that's so, I feel like when the girl is involved with someone, it's like you put a show into a fashion that the girl want to be with a loved one and escape from these matters. And in terms of traditional matters, personally, I'm not really sure it does not. It is a big or major concern, but somehow in my mind, I feel like the nation still has some reason to do with these problems. And also, I just feel like for whatever reason, so we should think about the nation carefully. So because for some time, the nation just only want people to be good, but it turned out bad for people. So that's it for me.
With the name as a girl, as a daughter of a family, how do you feel toward the situation that happened in the Capulet family?
Yes, first of all, I would like to pay my deep condolence to Capulet family who have lost their one and only daughter due to commit suicide. But honestly, I feel shocked and badly toward that news because she looks so young to be suffers like that. And I think at this age she should have been enjoying her teenager life instead of having a depression or living size like that.
Do you think that our oppressing tradition had something to do with this incident?
Well, yes, of course. I think our tradition has something to involve with this incident because I grew up in a world where a woman or a young girl like me living with the perspective and tradition that we should get married at the early age and form a family as soon as possible. And talking about the women, we never have our own rights to choose. So all we have to do is just listen and to our parents and follow their decision. And even in our society, we never consider that we have our own rights to race at all. And we were treated unequally to a man and like we were in the low position. So in Juliet's case, I think that our tradition has involved with it because it seems like a concern that her dad went viral over the city on her marriage day, which could be a clue that she's not satisfied with her marriage at all. Then to run out from the situation, she might choose to die instead. And if my assumption is right, I will not support it at all because it's really hurt me to see little young girls in our community being hurt themselves and getting depressed like that.
Back to Mr. Neville, from a personal point of view, what are the lessons learned from Juliet that everybody was to learn?
Well, yes, that's a very good question. So first and foremost, I feel like the incident implied a lot of crucial implication. First thing first, it gives an idea that as a young person with not too many life experiences, you cannot be recklessly determined to take this on your own. And the incident also tells a story that, especially to young people, even no matter how confident or strong or independent they are, still the levels of their maturity is not enough. So I advise them to think carefully whenever they want to do something. Meanwhile, looking for guidance is also important when they come upon any difficult time. For instance, you can take something that happened to Juliet as an example. Imagine what would happen if Juliet was wise enough and didn't choose to commit suicide. Maybe she can consult with more wise people. So by that, I think that she can get a better ideas on that problem. So eventually, she will be able to solve the problem effectively. And I also have something to say to the parents as well. So what I want is that I want parents to learn to change their so-called attitude and perspective toward their children. So firstly, I want parents to remember, to learn, to understand about the children more. They should try to put themselves into the shoes of the children. So by that, I think parents will know exactly what are the needs of their children. And second, I also want parents to be an advisor, not a commander. And also parents should be, always be supportive to the children. In case of a contradiction, I still believe that an oral discussion, it means that you talk to each other, it's always better than you just ignore each other. Because when you talk to each other, you can give a suggestion, make it proper and moral ideas. And by that, the result will be good.
To Pendane, as a female worker representing our ministry, do you have any policy or solution to help our young adults today out of dying?
Yes, of course. After the incident has happened in our society, it brought a concern to me and my fellow team member. So a few days ago, we decided to meet up with one another and discussing about these issues. We think that being emotional, it's really serious and dangerous to their life. And we also think that if we let our tradition flow over more into our society, then the percentage of young girls will be increased day by day. So which is going to be unfaithful thing to be seen in our history. And as the result of the discussion, we try to point out two solutions rather than focus on the policy, which is to educate them in both mental health and physical health. So for the first solution, we are thinking of cooperation between our ministries and the Ministry of Youth Education by providing a lesson with the topic of how girls are important in our societies and telling them that the ideas of suicidal is not a best way to solve the problem. And also in our purpose, we are not going to focus only on female students but also on male students to make them understand and know about this problem too. Secondly, sharing and spreading the lessons to the student is not enough because I think that parents also play an important role in this problem too, because if they did not understand about their own child feeling even a bit, it could become a big serious problem, just like in Juliet's case. So we are considered to hold an event with a topic of how to raise children positively and telling them that about the disadvantage of letting young girls to marry at the early age, to our parents in our community to know and to aware our hearts and choices.
Yes, that was really practical solution, and thank you both of you, Mr. Nerot and Ms. Dane, for giving us time to share your perspective toward our topic today.
Yes,
And ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of our news and discussion. And Abun Sreypich from NPSS Hot News would like to say goodbye and see you tomorrow with new topic and with the same time. Thank you.
Thank you, teacher, for giving us this wonderful task.
Welcome to our NPSS Hot News and discussion.
Thank you for me, see a girl with a good heart that always sharing her love to each other. But if you ask me,
Channarouth thanks to all.